Greetings, everyone. This is Austin. This is Flashpoint Friday. Your turnaround story starts here. And maybe you're like me. You didn't take the easy road, but somewhere deep inside, you know that you're still going to end up exactly on time. We have an exciting episode planned for you. If you're somebody who has an incredible health turnaround story, this is absolutely for you. If you're somebody who's wondering what can you do during these uncertain times to improve your wellness, to improve your immune system, and prevent, block, reverse dis-ease. I have a special guest that's going to be joining me today, and we have a huge announcement. But let me get into some of the details before we get into that and settle in with me today. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day here in the East Coast. First thing is we have the hourglass to remind us that what is here, we can't get there. What's here is done. We can only live right here. So if you're joining, make sure you get something from this. If you're live, just type in the word live. Say hello. And let me know that you're here. If you're on replay, let me know that you're on the replay. We have the cowbell to highlight significant shares, significant moments throughout the program. And one thing I'm going to add today before we get into the show is I've been sharing the notes out of my journal, things that come up, lessons, things that I can impart to you to share with you. And I'm going to open up with today's share. I'm going to basically pull out my journal, and then I'm going to share that with you. And I want to invite you to share because we're going to be talking about the health turnaround. We're going to be talking about getting well, creating wellness. Hello, Anilda. Keep your eyes on the road, dear, please. But we're going to have a lot of great content today. And the weather's changing. There's a lot of things that are opening up. We want people to be well. We want people to get well. And we got a huge announcement. So let me jump into the journal share. And then we're going to bring on a special guest for today's program. And here's what I have for you today. If you know what you have decided to do is you, in other words, that's me, right? You ever say, that's me? Set your intention from head and heart symmetry, from a place of head and heart symmetry. Next, take the next logical step. And here's the thing, immerse yourself in the present moment. What a lot of us do, not me, but a lot of us do is we are living in that next moment and we're not in this moment. And what came to me today is avoid the overthinking of, am I doing this right? Rather, set the intention of what you want and make this moment perfect and trust when that time comes, you in fact will make the best decision at that time. Avoid the overthinking. And that's the message. So what I want to do right now is transition into bring on a special guest with you today, Dr. George Grant. Let me just say a little bit about Dr. Grant before I bring him on live with you today, because I consider this man to be a foremost authority on wellness. He's a global expert. He's worked with 20,000 clients in his 35-year tenure. He's reversed conditions, disease, where there was no hope. He's worked with Olympic athletes. He has 3 doctorate degrees, over 250 published papers, 15 books on wellness and what it takes to not only create a state of wellness, but to maintain it. So I'm going to help me welcome my good friend, Dr. George Grant. Dr. Grant, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Austin.
How are you feeling today? First of all, did you get a good night's rest?
I did a great, restful sleep, and I woke up this morning for sunshine, which is great here in Toronto, Canada, and I'm grateful, always grateful.
Well, I'm glad to have you with me today, and we have a big announcement, so we're going to get to that. But before we do, Dr. Grant, I want to ask you, let's give some value to the audience during this time. there's been a lot of, and we don't need to talk too much about the news. We know what's happening there. What I want to do is I want to talk about what can people do to build their immune system, because as you know, and I'll put a little teaser out there, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a full hour plus presentation with global experts. And we'll get that information to you. But right now, what can people do to stay healthy, to prevent from getting disease or sickness?
Thank you, Austin. In case if some of your viewers do not know my story, I'm going to start with my health turnaround story. Happened at age 18 when I lost my mom at early 40s from heart disease, diabetes, clogged arteries, and so on. My dad passed away in his early 50s. Never seen my grandparents. So here I am at age 18, being orphaned at age 18, and I do not know what to do with my life after this. And I had the worst genes you can ever imagine. So I turned this ring around. Next week, I'm celebrating my 71st birthday. So thanks for the science of epigenetics to actually help you to recover from any bad genes. You can turn the bad genes off. You can turn the good genes on. And it's not just your genes that determine your destination, but also the good genes. So answering your questions about how to have a healthy immune system is basically you have to watch your diet. You have to go basically to academyofwellness.com, our website. And once you go to academyofwellness.com, go to Wellness IQ. The 10 questions help you to boost the immune system, help you to avoid the food that suppress immune system, help you to watch what you drink and how you sleep, and all of the stuff that we talk about here. So I recommend, as a former Health Canada, FDA, and CDC workers for scientists for almost like 10 years, back in the year 2000, I recommend, actually, it's on my website, taking extra vitamin D3, sunshine vitamins, up to 10,000 IU per day, international units, taking 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C, taking 80 milligrams of zinc per day. And these are the formula that I use personally, and I recommend to my clients. I use, as you mentioned, 20,000 clients all over the world. So by doing this, you can boost the immune system. You can boost your thymus right in the middle of your chest right here. So if you have any pain in the middle of your chest, that means your thymus is compromised. That means you do not produce T cells and NK cells. So basic things, by massaging this area right there, right and left, and doing the King Kong maneuver like this, then you can boost your immune system, and then taking the vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc. This is what I do. This is what I recommend to my clients. And I do not have any flu. I do not have any symptoms of any autoimmune disease.
So
that's the answer.
Vitamin D, you said 10,000?
IU, 10,000 IU. Doctor recommend only less than 1,000 IU. I recommend 10,000. I'm a toxicologist, by the way. There is no toxicity for vitamin D3 at 10,000 IU dosage. There's not even toxicity at 100,000 IU per day dosage. If you go to vitamindcouncil.org, you're going to see there's no toxicity of vitamin D.
It's a cowbell moment, because I heard another professional say this. There's no flu season. And by the way, this is for informational purposes only.
Yes.
Let me just get that out of here. But I heard a professional say there is no flu season. There's low vitamin D season.
Exactly. Yes.
Think about that. That means that when we're not, because we do get the vitamin D from the sun, there's a natural process, but we also need supplementation.
Yes.
Healthy, bioavailable supplements.
Yes.
And what you're saying is 10,000 IU per day of vitamin D.
100%, and 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C and 80 milligrams of zinc. And people have to understand that zinc boosts the immune system, but zinc has other benefit. In fact, I invented a song, Austin. It says zinc for think, zinc to think, zinc if you stink, zinc to shrink, zinc to blink. Zinc is so important for so many male and female functions in the body. Like, people underestimate the value of zinc and magnesium in the body.
I think I'm going to go get me some zinc.
Yes, all of us need that.
We need some zinc. We need to, absolutely. So we have a big announcement today, everyone. There's a big announcement, so hang in there. But you know what? I want to share with you, Dr. Grant. I appreciate your knowledge, and I want to share a little bit, because I don't really have a health turnaround per se, but I do. I do have a health turnaround story. And as I was getting ready, and by the way, let me just let the information. So Dr. Grant, and I'll tell you about my health turnaround story. Dr. Grant and we've co-authored 2 books together. And the second one was Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts here. This book hit the Amazon bestseller list. And Dr. Grant has a whole chapter in the back of this book, 26 tips to live healthy to 111 years young.
Wow.
So I consider Dr. Grant a foremost authority in this space. And I'll tell you by the end, we're going to be speaking to a global organization tonight at 9 p.m. But this is in the Flashpoint book. So this is exciting, right? I mean, this is my first book project, hits the Amazon bestseller. To have somebody like Dr. Grant in there is a big deal. It's a big deal because he's worked with people that were given, like, it's over, like that kind of counseling. And he's turned that around for people, right? So there you go. There's a gentleman who was 90%. What, you want to share that real quick, Dr. Grant? And then we'll talk about the exciting project that we're working on. Say hello. Hello, Jenna. Hello. Dr. Grant, tell us the story about what you're sharing, and then I want to talk about this exciting news.
This is back in 1998. You can see the dates here, 1998. This person has 99% clogged arteries. He was taking, as you can see here, 28 meds, 2 bypass, 2 stents, yet he had tachycardia, arrhythmia, and angina. So he was like waiting 3 months to die in 1998. The turnaround story for him is 9 months later. That's 9 months later. You can see the dates here, 1999. 50% opening in his arteries, changed his lifestyle, and as a result, he's taken no meds, no bypass, no stents, and he was 79 at that time in 1999. He's over 100 today, no meds, no bypass, no stents, still alive. If this is not turned around, I don't know what is.
You know what, Dr. Grant? Let's hit this because I want to tell people you're a former FDA and CDC senior consultant.
Yes.
These are the organizations that drive the globe in terms of what they say gets people well. And here you have a gentleman who is 3 months away from death. He's not, let's just call it what it is, knocking on death's door. Can you imagine? And then he comes to Dr. Grant and you basically worked with him. He not only reversed it, he's over 100 years young today. It's incredible. That is a health turnaround story. That's what we're looking for, because the exciting news is, drum roll, cowbell, we are doing a book that's going to feature the health turnaround story. If you know someone, if you a client, it's you, and you want to become an author, at the bottom there, you'll see it. We are putting together a compilation book that focuses on the health turnaround story, the health turnaround story. And I'm going to share my health turnaround story. And as I'm getting ready for this project to work on book number 2, and by the way, please share this with somebody that you know will resonate with this. If somebody has an incredible health turnaround, like they were told it's over, they were told they would know that their condition would never change, and it did, we want to highlight their story in volume 2, Flashpoint, your health turnaround story told here. But I want to share my health turnaround story, which as I was getting ready for this project, it dawned on me. And here's my story. When I was 25, my dad had a stroke. And I will never forget it because I was having a bad day, Dr. Grant. I had low blood sugar. I wasn't breathing fully. I was in a state of sympathetic fight, flight, and fright. I get to the hospital and I see my dad laying out on the stretcher, not on the medical table. I had to excuse myself because what happened is he had an aneurysm that burst. I went into the bathroom, and this is the truth. I passed out. I literally passed out on the floor. I woke up on the bathroom floor. And as I'm reflecting back on this, that was a turning point. That story with my dad took me on a different direction. I quit alcohol and I started to make incremental changes with my health to the point where at age 49, I ran an ultra marathon 32 miles. I would have never imagined in my wildest dreams at age 25 that I would run an ultra marathon. So my health turnaround story is actually through my father, who had a stroke at age 51 and miraculously lived to be 71, 20 years after that stroke. But he was not the same, Dr. Grant.
Yeah.
And that story I'm telling you, my health turnaround is what could have been had I not made a change. What could have happened had I not paid attention to my dad's stroke? Just like you paid attention to what happened to your mom when you were 18. You lost your mother, and then you lost your father. And then here you are, and you said, no, not only am I going to change my health, I'm going to change the world. And you've worked with 20,000 people to this point, and that's why I'm excited. And we want to highlight turnaround stories. So, Dr. Grant, I'm going to turn it back to you because I'm going to share the link in the comment section to do next. There's a link in the comment section. We have an application. You can fill it out so we can spotlight your turnaround story. So you can potentially, if you have a health turnaround story, we want to feature your story in this book. Thank you, Jenna. Appreciate this. So glad that something positive came out of your dad being sick. Yes, thank you very much. My dad was proud of me, and I won't go into the whole story here, but yes, that was a health turnaround. As I'm preparing for this project, it dawned on me that this was my health turnaround. So it wasn't dramatic, and you know, who knows what the future holds, but it's one good decision at a time. It's saying no. I learned to say no. You know, do I still have a treat now and then? Yes, I do. But I've conditioned myself. I've set a new standard for myself. And whenever my standard starts to, boom, I get back. And I start to put the good, breathe, water.
Yes.
I start to do the good things. So we are excited to feature your health turnaround story. And if you don't have a health turnaround story, guess what? There's an invitation, because tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Dr. Grant and myself, we're going to be talking on this globe. Dr. Grant, I'll let you talk about that platform tonight.
Well, thank you, Austin. I will be actually at the WONM, which is World Organization of Natural Medicine. I happen to be a professor there for 25 years. So we're going to be featured there, both you and I, to talk about how we build our tribe that had turnaround stories. So we've got 20,000 people here, direct clients. And also we have people like Jenna, who has, thank you so much for that comment, Jenna. Healthy clients, not just the people who had this turnaround stories, but I'm going to actually share with you on the book about 100 of these turnaround stories. I'm going to be sharing with you the story I shared with 2.1 million people on this turnaround, Turning Point 2020, that we had the conference on. 2.2 million people in 100 countries last conference in October 2020.
Wow.
So we can be sharing all of the stuff with everybody here. So it's amazing how we can help how we reach out to other people too. And then I'm going to be sharing in this book also how we use holistic health to actually reverse your lifestyle, even if you had, as you mentioned, for Austin case, stroke, in my case, heart attack or diabetes or any problem with heart problems or high blood pressure and all of this stuff. It all can be reversed naturally without any medication, without any surgery. So our motto is we care, we serve, we educate. We do not medicate, we do not operate, we do not irritate, we do not vaccinate, and we do not irradiate. So this is basically the whole threshold about this upcoming book. I'm happy to write the foreword for you. I'm happy to contribute even a chapter about the turnaround stories that I experienced in the past 37 years in my career. Yes. So happy to do that. And then tonight we're going to be talking for only 7 minutes. So I invite everybody who can listening to us right now to join us on this WNM. This is the largest natural integrative organization in the world. We have about over 2,500 members who are actively promoting wellness, integrated medicine, functional medicine, lifestyle medicine. So that's all we need right now in this day and age, in this unprecedented.
Yes. We want you to get well. If you have a health turnaround story,
yes,
we're going to be putting it in volume 2 of Flashpoint, your health turnaround story told here. And I just shared my health turnaround story. Dr. Grant talked about his. And you just said you're going to have all these stories in this book.
Yeah.
In the next chapter, where Dr. Grant's going to write the forward in the book.
Yes.
Listen. Let me say this the right way. Let me get the cowbell. Listen. There's a better way to health and wellness. Dr. Grant worked for the CDC. He worked for the FDA as a senior consultant. And he's created a natural way to turn your health around. Healthy, healthy, strong immune system. And Dr. Grant, I'm getting excited because you put the chapter in this book already, giving people 26 lessons, 26 keys, 26 tips to live healthy to 111 years old. And you just shared the story about the guy who was told he had 3 months to live. He's in age 70s. He's over 100 today. The stuff works.
Austin, when I actually written the first book, How to Live Healthy to 101, people said, really, what is your credential to write a book, How to Live Healthy 101, and your mother died at 41 and your dad died at 51? What is that that you can help people to live to 101? I told them, that's my plan. If God give me another 20, 30 years to live after 71 now, I'm going to help more people. It's all there is to it. But then somebody in the States, in Pennsylvania, lived to 101. So the next updated copy is How to Live Healthy to 111. Nobody has ever yet in the States or Canada lived to 111. If they ever do that, then it's going to be another update, How to Live Healthy to 121. Okay.
You know what? I'm going to share with you, Dr. Grant. I'm actually meeting with a gentleman next week who I've highlighted.
Yes.
John Kermans. He's 95 years young. He has no back pain. He has no knee pain. He eats healthy. He moves his body every day. And I'm going to meet with him next week. And he's a World War II vet. He was in the Marines. You know what? This stuff is possible, but it's not possible through listening to mainstream media. It's possible by educating yourself and making your own best decisions, getting around people like Dr. Grant. Tonight at 9 p.m., we're going to be on the World Organization of Natural Medicine, a global organization. One of the guys in there invited Dr. Grant to a seminar. There was 2.2 million people on this platform. 2.2 million. Okay, so that's the turning point. So we're excited. I'm excited to do volume 2 of Flashpoint. Your health turnaround story starts here. Dr. Grant's going to write the forward. We're going to have some health turnaround stories, and your story can be in this book. And if you don't have that story yet, we invite you to journey with us, because we don't care what your condition is. There's no guarantee, right? But what there is a guarantee is that you can take a step today to reverse whatever's happening. If you have the ability to make a decision, you have the ability to create your turnaround story. So if you know somebody, if you are a health turnaround, the scroll at the bottom, heal.yourflashpoint.com. There's an application. Actually, Dr. Grant, I got a couple minutes. I'm going to do this. I have this all set up. So here we go. I'm going to share the screen. So stay with me. Stay with me, everyone. So there we go. This is the application. If you go to heal.yourflashpoint.com, you'll see this author application. You can become a co-author with Dr. Grant. He's worked for the CDC, the FDA, 35 years of experience, 15 books, 250 published papers. And you got recognized, Dr. Grant, what did you get recognized for? You isolated you associated sugar with dementia?
Yes, type 3 diabetes called dementia. This is my first discovery. And then also I isolated beta endorphins. It's all on the website, academyofwellness.com. Your viewers can see that.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is Flashpoint. See, such a busy guy, his phone ringing off the hook. Your turnaround story starts here, volume 2. What you can do is go to this website, fill out the application. It'll ask you.
I'm on the Zoom call right now. I know this.
It'll ask you some questions, and you hit submit, and you'll be in the running, so we can put you in this book with Dr. Grant if you have a health turnaround story. If you're listening to this and you go, I know somebody who has an incredible story that they weren't supposed to, whatever, they weren't supposed to, this condition was permanent, and they healed. They were given a diagnosis that it was over, and they reversed it. We want that story, and we want to be able to highlight it in this book. If you are a wellness practitioner and you have a client that you worked with and you want to highlight that client's story, they have the choice to stay classified, or you can highlight them. We want that story because people need options today. People need the ability to know, not the ability, they need to know that there's other options. You know, there's other options. I heard this says this: if you have one choice, that's like incredibly stressful. If you have two, that's pressure. But if you have three, you have options. So the more options you can create, right? If somebody's giving you a diagnosis or somebody's telling you this is the way it is, there may be other choices. And Dr. Grant, that's what you represent to me. You represent the options that people can have to reverse and turn around conditions that they otherwise would have no other way to do. So I want to honor you here. And do me a favor, if someone has gone to that website, I want you to type in the word turnaround, or, let's just make it easier. Just type in the word Flashpoint. If you've gone to the website, type in the word Flashpoint, and we want you to fill out that application so that you can tell your story and we can get you in this book. The last one went Amazon bestseller. We made the Amazon bestseller list. You can become an author with myself and Dr. Grant. And Dr. Grant, why don't you just speak about that, going through that process with us? How did we do? Because you've written 15 books. You've been a part of lots of these processes. What would you say about this process that we did with Flashpoint?
It was very simple, basic submission to my 26 tips to live healthy to 1 years young. And it's been edited, it's been reviewed, and all of the other gifted co-author in this book have done the same thing. It was a very simple process, really. And we become actually more intimately, basically grouped together now, all of the co-authors working together. And then I've seen some of them doing the virtual assessment through this wonderful device called the AO Mobile Scan virtually. And then we can actually assess them. In fact, let me tell you a secret about Austin. He is the top 10% of my healthy clients because I work with the top Olympic athletes in Canada and the US. And he scored very high on the wellness IQ. He scored very high on this wellness mobile assessment, virtual assessment. So we are colleagues. We're in the same tribe, working together. So by writing a chapter in this upcoming book, not only going to be sharing this with your clients and also your friends, but you're going to be also helping yourself to know where you are, what is that we need to help you. All of this thing together is an added value, an added bonus. Hopefully we can all live longer and healthier to centurion 111 and beyond. And that's the whole objective, is to, like, it doesn't matter whether you've been diagnosed with cancer, it doesn't matter whether you've been diagnosed with heart disease, everything has, a natural cure. There's lots of books that we've written here, how to reverse this thing here, and it's all can be done naturally without medication, surgery, or ventilator. Let's put it this way.
Yes, it can. So we're going to wrap the show up. Dr. Grant, I'm so glad we had this time today. I want to encourage you to grab that link, fill out the application for yourself, or share it with somebody, and join us tonight. I'll put the link in here after the show is over. 9 o'clock tonight, global organization, World Organization of Natural Medicine. Dr. Grant and I are going to be on there, and we are looking forward to that time. So thank you so much, everyone. It's Flashpoint Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Your turnaround story starts here. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.